Borno State over the years has been setting the pace when it comes to the creation of opportunities for women and girls. Under the administration of Professor Babagana Zulum, women have remained in the spotlight with arrays of initiatives designed to improve the standard of living of vulnerable women and children, especially survivors of the 13-year insurgency. Hello and welcome. This is Borno Restoration. I am Jessie Tafida. Today on the program, we will take you through Governor Zulum's efforts towards empowering vulnerable women in the state. First, let's bring you up to speed with Borno Today. This summit brought together education stakeholders, religious leaders, and community advocates to discuss how best to integrate Almajiri with basic formal education. Additionally, it will give participants a forum to talk about problems, exchange ideas, and provide workable answers to the difficulties the Almajiri educational system faces. Governor Babagana Zulum declares open the summit.
The Sangaya reform is a great development and will bring Almajiri a better chance in life, particularly the introduction of integrating Western education, vocational education, numeracy and literacy skills into the centers, which are also described as Almajiri and Islamic schools. I urge our educationists to embrace these reforms and work tirelessly to ensure that our children receive the education they deserve.
The Borno State Arabic and Sangaya Education Board wants comprehensive overhaul of the Almajiri system.
We are signing into law a bill seeking to provide 0.5% of the state allocation and that of local government allocation to the Sangaya board. I urge our educationists to embrace these reforms and work tirelessly to ensure that our children receive the education they deserve. Our future, our children together, will conclude a brighter future for Borno State.
Part of the recommendations at the summit is for government to put measures in place to curb the influx of Almajiris from neighboring states and countries and to support Sangaya schools and teachers. It further suggests that the Sangaya Reform Board should be empowered to immediately embark on continuous registration of non-registered Sangaya and Islamia schools. The newly commissioned High Islamic Community College, Tambua. It is part of the Zulum administration's move aimed at combating violent extremism. Governor Babagana Zulum disclosed his vision of addressing challenges associated with the growing number of out-of-school children.
Our vision is to align with global educational standards, recognizing the importance of blending religious knowledge with critical thinking, technical skills, and digital literacy. We are determined to ensure that no child in Borno State is left behind, regardless of their educational background. This institution stands as a testament to the commitment while the state government has funded its construction. We entrust the management of this school to the local community, fostering a sense of ownership and ensuring sustainability.
The Higher Islamic College is designed to integrate Sangaya learners into a curriculum developed by the National Board of Arabic and Islamic Studies. This blends traditional Islamic studies with modern subjects of science, technology, mathematics, and foundational English skills.
Thanks to this effort, we have successfully reduced the number of out-of-school children in Borno State by 70% since the beginning of this administration. Today we are focused not only on expanding access to education, but also on improving retention rates.
To our dear students, I urge you to make most of these opportunities. Study diligently and take full advantage of educational resources that are now available in your communities.
Another junior secondary school elsewhere at Garjang was opened by the state governor. Free uniforms, texts and exercise books, school bags alongside bicycles were given to all students enrolled in the schools. Governor Babagana Zulum pledges to tackle the increased number of out-of-school children before the expiration of his tenure. Wife of the Borno State Governor, Dr. Falmata Zulum, has launched the 2024 16 Days of Activism in the state with distribution of dignity kits to vulnerable women and girls. This was made possible through the Ministry of Women Affairs and Social Development. Take a listen. It's the launch of the 2024 16 Days of Activism against gender-based violence. Women from all walks of life gather at the multipurpose hall of the Government House, Maiduguri. This event was organized by the State Ministry of Women Affairs and Social Development with support from development partners. Appeared in orange, the women are happy to commemorate the kickoff. The theme for this year's celebration in Borno is Tracing the Roots, Standing Against Gender-Based Violence, which highlights the need to break the silence around rape and other gender-based violence. Wife of the Borno State Governor, Dr. Falmata Zulum, makes a grand entry. To set the ball rolling, the State Commissioner of Women Affairs and Social Development, Zuwaira Gambo, disclosed that the event was made possible through commitment of the governor as he stands for women at all times.
I address you today as we join the global community in observing the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence. This campaign is a powerful call to action for all of us to stand united against a menace that undermines human dignity and equality. This year's theme, which we have localized it to Tracing the Roots, Standing Against Gender-Based Violence. Each year the UN comes out with one theme, but we look at the local content. What are our challenges in Borno? And in agreement with our partners, we adopted Tracing the Roots, Standing Against Gender-Based Violence. It challenges us to confront the deep-seated cultural and systematic factors that perpetuate gender-based violence. It reminds us that to achieve lasting change, we must address not just the symptoms, but also the root causes of this issue. Let me begin by commending His Excellency, my Governor, Professor Babagana Umara Zulum, MNI, FNSE, CON, and Grand Commander of Niger Republic, whose visionary leadership has paved the way for progress and inclusivity in Borno State. His unwavering commitment to the welfare of the people, especially women and children, has set a strong foundation for our collective efforts to address GBV. I also extend our warm welcome and appreciation to Her Excellency, Dr. Falmata Babagana Umara Zulum, for her compassionate leadership and advocacy. Her Excellency has consistently championed the roots and well-being of women and children, providing support and hope to survivors of violence across our state. Her commitment inspires us to do more in this vital fight. Thank you, Your Excellency. The Ministry of Women Affairs and Social Development, in collaboration with various partners, and stakeholders, has made significant progress in combating GBV through empowering survivors, offering access to safe spaces, counseling, and economic opportunities to rebuild their lives. We have a beautiful one-stop center in Budum in collaboration with the JICA, that's the Japanese government, and UNFPA. Community engagement, conducting awareness campaigns to educate communities, to break the culture of silence and promote behavioral change. This we have been doing in the last 6 years, since the assumption of duty of His Excellency and his team from 2019 to date. It's a continuous community engagement process. Strengthening the legal frameworks, ensuring that perpetrators are held accountable and survivors receive justice and protection. VAP and the child rights law are domesticated in Borno State. And since those laws came to be, we have witnessed a lot of convictions in collaboration with FIDA, Ministry of Justice, our traditional rulers and traditional leaders, and of course the security agency, especially the Nigerian police, where we have gender desk in every of the divisions. Engaging men and boys, where we encourage their active involvement as allies in changing harmful gender norms and fostering respect and equality. However, the fight against GBV cannot be won by government or organizations alone. It requires a collective effort from all of us, families, communities, religious and traditional leaders, civil society organizations, and individuals. We must work together to create a society where everyone is safe and treated with dignity. As we commemorate these 16 days, I urge every one of us to take action. And so, let's speak out against violence in all its forms. On behalf of Our Excellency once more, I welcome all of you to this auspicious occasion.
It is a fight for equality, justice, and human rights.
A promise of safety mixed with gloom. Giving it leaders hear her song to invest in peace where it should belong. Not just words, but action word. A promise to keep, a picture to hold. Invest in her safety, her voice, her choice. Invest in her dreams, her life, her voice.
Borno State's First Lady, Dr. Falmata Zulum, strongly believes that empowering the women and girls is one sure way of ensuring equality. She says the Zulum administration is disposed towards promoting women's rights in the state.
We gather here today to inaugurate the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence, and the theme for this year, tracing the root, standing against gender-based violence. The theme is a call to action, urging us to delve deeper into the underlying causes of this pervasive issue and develop comprehensive strategies to address it effectively. In Borno State, like many other parts of the world, gender-based violence casts a long shadow. The devastating impact of the Boko Haram insurgency has exacerbated the existing vulnerabilities, leaving women and girls disproportionately affected by sexual violence, forced displacement, and economic hardship. These experiences have created a complex web of trauma that extends far beyond the immediate physical and emotional harm. However, to truly combat gender-based violence, we must go beyond the immediate symptoms and confront the root causes. We must acknowledge that gender-based violence is not simply an individual act, but a manifestation of deeper societal issues. Harmful cultural norms and practices that normalize or justify violence against women must be actively challenged and dismantled. Socioeconomic inequalities, lack of access to education and health care, and limited economic opportunities contribute to women's vulnerability to violence. Empowering women economically and socially is crucial to reducing their risk. Weak legal frameworks and enforcement create an environment where gender-based violence can thrive. Strengthening legal protections and ensuring that effective enforcement are critical steps. Lack of access to essential services such as medical care, psychosocial support, and legal aid must be addressed by investing in and expanding available services. Our strategy to combat gender-based violence must be multi-pronged, targeting these root causes. It requires a collaborative effort from all sectors of society, including raising awareness through comprehensive campaigns to educate the community about gender-based violence, challenging harmful social norms, and promoting healthy relationships. Strengthening legal frameworks to ensure laws protecting women and girls are robust, enforced effectively, and that perpetrators are held accountable. Empowering women by providing access to education, economic opportunities, and leadership roles, enabling them to break free from cycles of violence and inequality. Providing comprehensive support services for survivors, including medical care, counseling, and legal assistance. Promoting positive masculinity by working with men and boys to challenge harmful norms and promote respectful relationships. The 16 days of activism are a crucial moment for us to reflect, strategize, and renew our commitment to eliminating gender-based violence. The Borno State Ministry of Women Affairs and I are proud to partner with numerous organizations and partners towards this goal. This event is not an ending. It is a starting point. By working together, tracing the roots of violence, and taking decisive action, we can create a brighter future for the women and girls of Borno State. A future free from the shadow of gender-based violence. This address will not be complete without my sincere appreciation to the Borno State government under the leadership of His Excellency Professor Babagana Umar Zulum, our esteemed partners and stakeholders for making this year's event a reality and a huge success. Let's make 2024 the year to take decisive action. Let us ensure the voices of the survivors are heard, their needs met, and their rights are respected. Let's unite to end violence against women and girls once and for all.
Development partners present at the occasion laud support and commitment of the Ministry of Women Affairs and Social Development for uplifting the standard of living of women and girls in the state.
Today we celebrate the 16 days of activism, which provides an important opportunity each year to GBV subsector joining forces with the key players from the government, UN agencies, international and national humanitarian actors to commemorate the 16 days of activism. The 16 days of activism against GBV campaign began in 1991. So since then, it has become a global platform for awareness, advocacy, and action to end violence against women and girls. Linking 25th November, which is today, marking the International Day for Elimination of Violence Against Women, to 10th of December, marking Human Rights Day. So understanding the theme for this year, which is tracing the roots, standing against GBV, emphasizes identifying and addressing the root causes of GBV, including social norms, structural inequalities, and systemic discrimination. GBV remains a global crisis, affecting 1 in 3 women in their lifetime, cutting across all ages, race, and socioeconomic statuses. Over here in Nigeria, Northeast Nigeria, locally, according to the GBV IMS data, which indicates a 5% increase in gender-based violence reported incidents compared with last year, which is 2023. So Borno had the highest percentage of reported incidents at 84%, followed by Adamawa at 10% and Yobe at 6%. Now these incidents include different types of gender-based violence, including sexual assault and sexual violence, intimate partner violence, forced marriages, female genital mutilation, etc. among women and girls and children, amongst both IDPs and hosting population. The factors such as conflict, displacement, economic instability, and climate-induced events such as floods has also exacerbated gender-based violence in Northeast Nigeria. Addressing the root causes of GBV, which also includes power imbalances, toxic masculinities, cultural norms, economic vulnerabilities, are key to success. So GBV subsector partners have been addressing these root causes over the years through interventions on prevention to gender-based violence, by community awareness and education, economic empowerment, and providing life-saving and comprehensive gender-based violence services in the Northeast. Over the last 4 years, the 16 Days of Activism campaign has galvanized government, civil society, and individuals through awareness and accountability for pushing the legal and policy reforms through WAP implementation and taking prevention and response actions by mobilizing the community-led interventions.
If you look at the theme for today, is tracing the causes of gender-based violence, because we believe that without addressing the cause of the problem, we will not be able to address it properly. We have had the VAP law passed, we have the child rights law passed in Borno State. And so with the domestication of these laws, everybody in Borno State knows that the era of violence against women and girls is over. And so on this note, I want to inform you that as a government, under the leadership of His Excellency Professor Babagana Umar Zulum, we have taken it as a personal cause to provide succor, both through provision of mental health and psychosocial support, through sponsoring them to schools, through empowering them with various skills, and then giving them startup kits at the end of the exercise. All GBV survivors in Borno State are continuously being supported to ensure that they forget about the past and trauma they have gone through and are able to reintegrate and join other members of the community. All activities we do as a government, there is an inclusivity. Apart from people living with disabilities, GBV survivors are #1 on our agenda. And I refuse to show them to you, but you could see that they wore the same clothes with us, and I'm very happy the girls are going back to school. Some of them we have engaged them in various workspaces, while the ones that have children, we are also giving support to the children.
High points of the event was the distribution of dignity kits by wife of Governor Zulum to vulnerable women and girls. The First Lady assured to always empower women in the state so as to make them self-reliant. And that's our package on this episode of Borno Restoration. Many thanks for watching. I'm Jessie Tafida. See you next time. Bye-bye.